Something's wrong at Granny's house, and my stepson won't tell me why. Throwaway here for anonymity, hope you understand. I, 33F, am the stepmother of a boy who just turned 6. His mother died when he was an infant, so there is no bio mother in the picture. He spends time with his maternal grandmother 58F, about once a month, usually for a weekend at a time. This has been going on for a year now. Prior to that, she lived farther away, and it was not as frequent. His grandmother is a little off, in the best of circumstances. Now, I want to preface this by saying I am not accusing her of anything, I am just wondering if this sounds unusual to anyone else. Lately, say the last 5 times he saw her, he comes back home with his pajamas unworn. She doesn't send any of his clothes home washed, so I can tell easily what he wore and didn't. I asked him, "Hey, what do you wear to sleep at Grandma's?" And he got really worried looking, like he was going to be in trouble if he told me, but eventually caved and told me he sleeps in his underwear only. I asked him where he sleeps at his grandma's. I always just assumed she made up the couch for him, and he said in her bed with her. I asked him what his grandma wears to bed and he said her underpants. Now, am I often thinking it is inappropriate for a 6-year-old boy to sleep in only his underpants in the same bed as his grandmother, who is only in her underpants? This is not anything I ever saw or did as a child. We never slept in just underwear, not even in the summer, and never in bed with an adult unless we were sick or something. It's not only the fact that he is sleeping in her bed in his underwear while she is only in hers that bothers me, it's the shame he obviously felt in telling me. Like, either it feels wrong to him as well or he was told not to tell me, I don't know. When he visits my husband's parents, he sleeps on the couch in their family room, as he has done his whole life basically since he was out of a crib. He never has any issues there. I asked him about it again the other day, when he came back from a visit, and he immediately broke down sobbing and saying Grandma's couch is dirty. I can't sleep on it. Don't make me stop seeing Grandma, as if he is being told by her not to tell us where he sleeps. I told my husband I think he, as the father, should tell her he needs to be sleeping with clothes on at the very least, but says even if we tell her he needs to sleep clothed on the couch, she won't listen. He basically says she's weird but she's harmless. And even if we threaten to stop allowing him visits, does that even matter? We have no way of knowing what she is doing or not doing over there. She could promise to stop but continue it, and we really won't know. Thoughts? Edit. I just think it's important to say that the PJs he is sent with are a t-shirt and shorts or fleece pants depending on season, the same thing he wears to bed at home. It's not like I'm expecting him to sleep in a nun's habit. Also, to those who pointed out Grandma's couch might really be very dirty, I never considered that honestly. To me, a dirty couch might have a few items on it that can be easily cleared off and put away. Grandma does have hoarding issues and isn't a very hygienic person herself, so it is very possible the couch is quite dirtier than I ever imagined. Edit. One more thing, with regards to the hoarding. Grandma has been a hoarder as long as my husband has known her, and I think that's why he kinda writes it off. Many of you are, rightly, appalled that we let him visit a known hoarder, but my husband doesn't see the actual danger of the hoarder situation, as it has never caused danger in her case before. She doesn't keep house as well as we do, that's a fact, but it's not the level of stuff you see on TV with bugs and mice and 40 million cats and rotten food, but it's definitely extremely cluttered and she won't throw anything away. She does throw food away, or at least always has in the past. He feels like since he has known her many years and even had her living with him at one point, he knows the general state of her home and doesn't consider it dangerous. I think the potential for danger is totally there, but I don't know how to get him to see that it's really not normal. You guys very well could be exactly right that it's more of a I don't want my parents to know how Grandma's house is or they won't let me go their reaction. I never considered that as an option. I thought the problem was the underwear thing, which while still unusual to me, the bed sharing as a result of uncleanliness/hoarding is the bigger problem. Thank you. Commenter. Sleeping in underwear, not at all weird if it's his choice, but weird that Grandma doesn't dress him in the pajamas you provide. Sleeping next to Grandma, not necessarily weird at his age. His reaction to you asking about it? Very concerning. Your husband's response that Grandma will disregard instructions from the parents? Also concerning. Commenter. This is weird. He basically says she's weird but she's harmless. Is this all he had to say? What else is weird about her and how does he know it's harmless? Behavior doesn't have to be illegal to be harmful. I think a lot of people forget to draw separate lines there. I recall Michael Jackson claiming that he was just sleeping in bed with the children and nothing sexual ever happened. Well, sorry, but that's still weird and inappropriate for a man your age. You need to tread lightly, as really your husband is the one who has to do something since it's his son and former mill, but you need to keep your ears and eyes peeled. Don't do anything drastic unless something drastic happens, as you don't want your stepson to clam up about his sleepovers. Just listen for anything that crosses any more lines and inform your husband of any further inappropriate behavior. The other weird things about her are pretty subjective, I guess. She is a serious hoarder, has terrible financial responsibility, is kind of unhygienic, extremely religious, so by harmless I think he means she isn't really hurting anyone, but she is noticeably odd to the general public. Update. So, after all your comments, I pushed my husband to have us drive his son to the grandmother's house next time she asked to have him for the weekend, which was this past weekend. He didn't immediately agree to it, but eventually caved. Here's what happened. Turns out, Grandma lives in a fairly new townhouse community, typical beige walls, beige carpet, laminate cabinets type deal, you all know the kind I'm sure. When we got there, I said I really needed to use the bathroom. She at first was trying to tell me that there is a big 24/7 gas station a mile further down the road, told you she hates me, but I told her it was pretty urgent, and I would be quick. My husband just followed me in with my stepson, and you could tell Grandma was nervous. Ladies and gents, I was actually not as horrified as I thought I'd be. The townhouse was most certainly cluttered, but I would not call it a fire hazard. I would call it very tastefully decorated, knick-knack shelves on every wall, lots of magazines and flyers on tables, ugly-ass artificial swags above every door. The kind of place that would never look clean even if it were. Just a lot of ugly crap, but nothing dirty. The bathroom was messier than I would live with, but didn't seem gross. Lots of bottles and stuff laying out, that kind of thing. Toilet seemed normal, and I peeked in the tub and it had a lot of bottles but wasn't dirty. Baseboards and study could have used a cleaning, but I can't say mine are spotless all the time. I thought it was a 1-bed/1 bath, but turns out it is a 2-bed 1 bath. One bedroom being Grandma's bedroom, the other being a sewing room/storage room. I looked in and there is certainly no room for a bed in it. Lots of boxes and totes and a big table with a sewing machine. I figured out the couch thing, I think. The couch is very obviously her dog's bed. Her dog is this big, white, reasonably friendly creature, but it was clear the couch is its spot. There was a fleece blanket covering most of the couch and said blanket was covered in dog hair. I would not want to sit on that, nor sleep there. So, as far as the underwear stuff, I made a point to tell Grandma that his PJs are in the bag and he needs to be wearing them, that he mentioned he doesn't wear them and we prefer he did. She was taken a little aback and kinda stumbled out an "oh, okay." My husband then added that since he is sleeping with her, she needs to be clothed too, as he also told us she slept in her underwear. She vehemently denied that, saying she sleeps in a granny gown. So, it would appear that the couch is indeed not a suitable sleeping spot. My husband told Grandma that next time we will be bringing a twin-size air mattress for her to keep there for him. I personally wish he, my husband, had done that this time, but I am picking my battles with him, but I'm going to make damn sure he does. When my stepson returned home, his PJs appeared. He claimed he wore them, and I said okay, but you won't be in trouble if you didn't, you just need to tell me, and he insisted he wore them. So, the visits aren't going to stop, my husband just does not think that is necessary. We will be providing Grandma with an air mattress to keep there for my stepson, and we will be monitoring the PJ situation. Thank you all for your comments on the original post, I'm doing the best I can to make this situation better. Edit. Please read the original post before commenting. Grandma is not my mill, she is not my husband's mother. She is my husband's first wife's mother. Edit 2. Please read the original post. Those PMing me telling me I'm sick for falsely accusing someone of molestation, I hardly call an anonymous "what do you think of this situation" post on a subreddit an accusation of molestation. Calm down. What if it had been molestation? Would I have been out of line then? No. Then it would be that poor boy. Why didn't you step in sooner? Commenter. Reiterate to your son that if anyone says don't tell mom, he needs to tell you. There shouldn't be secrets in your family. Also, hubby needs to be clearer with mom that she needs to be respectful of you, and yes, you do have a right to see the house and ask questions before you leave him with anyone. He needs to tell her that telling a kid secrets sets him up for abuse and disrespecting his mom sets him up for becoming a brat. She is his former mill, not his mother, FYI. His first wife's mother. Just want to clarify that.